of other countries also are lobbying. Do you think?
Was I muted that whole time? Was my? All right, let's listen in. We're gonna start this from the beginning.
When a lawmaker like Ted Cruz uses the Bible to justify aid to Israel, doesn't even know the verse, do you guys think that's like not the best way to approach this? Raise your hand. Okay.
I think Ted Cruz used Genesis 12:3. I think a lot of people see that as off-putting when you look at the New Testament.
Why?
Because I think a lot of people, they look especially at the writings of Paul, where he talks about how the new flesh is not the same as the people in the old covenant. The new flesh is everybody, is everyone's included.
Talking about Romans 9.
Yes, 9:6, yeah.
Are you Catholic?
Converting to Catholic from
Yeah, I can
Judaism.
tell.
This is my next
Oh,
slide.
from Judaism?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you're ethnically Jewish.
Ethnically Jewish, yes. Yes, I do.
I'm told that by some people that if I criticize AIPAC, I'm anti-Semitic.
I think it's ridiculous, yeah. I feel like it's great to have a concern for your country.
Do you think that that AIPAC represents a kind of cutting in line of prioritization away from the American people?
Yes.
Would you guys say that's a fair summary? Meaning that, like, okay, we vote, we're citizens, but a separate group gets higher priority because of whatever reasons. You look like you want to chime in.
That the entirety of the idea of a PAC is to represent a group, but the fact that we're allowing a group that doesn't even represent American interests to influence the people who are supposed to be representing us, I have a huge problem with. And that's why I've said this before, and a lot of people don't like when I say it. I actually think there's probably like 20 representatives between Senate and House who I think are actually fully doing the work of the American people and don't have the interests of some group pulling their sway.
But when you hear that lots of other countries also are lobbying, do you think, that you probably don't know the names of those countries, but it's happening. Does that upset you equally, or is AIPAC just get all the press because it's so top of mind?
If those other ones are doing the same thing, of course, I do not think that other countries should be telling us how to spend, telling our representatives and people who are here to represent all of us that they should be focusing outside of the United States. America first. Thank you.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I had a big goof on my part. The system audio was muted. I don't know how that happened, but thank you to everybody that is tuning in. If you could like the video on the way in. Our topic today, all right, it's on the thumbnail. We've got cover-ups, segregation, and traitors. Now, I started this video out with the discussion by Charlie Kirk, who is a Zionist, having open discussions with ethnically Jewish people who have a problem with AIPAC. Now, are you going to call them anti-Semitic? Are you going to call those Jewish people who do not want the nation state of Israel to have undue influence on American politics? Are you going to call them anti-Semitic? Now I know y'all like to call us black people that are America first. Y'all like to call us, right, all kinds of names, right? Self-hating black and Uncle Tom and all these other things. But are you going to call this young Jewish man, anti-Semitic when he, ethnically Jewish, though he is, him right here, yeah, okay, him right here, ethnically Jewish as he is, right, he's saying, I don't want Israel to have. I'm asking. I started off with that because I know a lot of people like to question anyone who has any pushback on the nation state of Israel. I like to call them anti-Semitic. Thank you, 40 and S&W fan. Thank you, Ashley, for tuning in. Thank you, Quaylo. Thank you, Coop2 Contre Coop. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everybody as you're tuning in. But I just wanted to ask that question before we got started with today's show, because we're going to start off. We got some interesting stuff to discuss. Now, President Trump, he went on a sort of, not really a rant, but a long discussion about the Epstein cover-up. And we're going to talk about cover-ups today because that seems to be a common theme with this Epstein situation. We all, unless you're born under a rock or you are completely in love with Donald Trump and worshiping him as Messiah for you can smell something wrong with this Epstein situation, right? You'd have to be totally drinking the Trump Kool-Aid. Now, I love some of the stuff I love a lot of the stuff that he's doing, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. Now, let's listen in, and thank you to everybody that's tuning in. We're trying to get to 12,000 subscribers by the end of the month. We only need 11, so you could be the one. All right, let's listen into old President Donald J. Now, this is a 5-minute interview. We're not going to play the whole thing, but it will be in the rundown. I think
the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name?
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this: those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey. They were run by Garland. They were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Like, as an example, Christopher Steele, a person you know well, happens to be from your country. But Christopher Steele, as an example, wrote a book, a dossier. We call it the fake news dossier. And the whole thing was a fake. The whole thing was a fake. They can put things in the file that are fake. But those files were run by bad, sick people. If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing Joe and then he gave out because he was 25 points down? And then I got somebody new. Nobody even knew anything about her. She was a horrible vice president. She was a border czar, but she never went to the border. She never once called a border patrol agent to find out how we're doing. But she was the border czar. Her name was Kamala. Nobody knows her last name. It was Harris. But nobody knew her last name. So I ended up, how would you like to end up in a race where you're killing somebody, you're beating him, and then they say, all right, we'll take him out. He's not working. Let's put somebody else. And then she had a 6-week honeymoon. It was amazing. They predicted she would have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. And then she got slaughtered. But think of it. Those files were run by these people. They were run by my enemy. If there was anything in there, they would have used them for the election. Yeah.
Do you think that drawing, I think that heard something okay, that the drawing that was the subject of Wall Street has not appeared in the Epstein files.
Now let's go back to this part.
Dossier. We call it those files were run by a border patrol agent to find out how we're doing. But she was the border czar. Last name was Harris. Predicted she would have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. And I drew 4 lines and a little roof.
Now, that is one of the arguments for Donald Trump, is that if his enemies had information on him in the files, why didn't they use it to harm his campaign? We know that they are willing to do this. Barack Obama and the Russia hoax, why wouldn't they use the information that they had to smear his campaign? They've used lawfare, they've used gunmen, they've used all sorts of other methods, but they're going to stop short at this one, which could have been the death knell. They tried actual death, but they wouldn't try this. This was a bridge too far, right? And that's one of the reasons why people may say, oh, yes, he's in the files. But why all of a sudden would they be hesitant to use this information to take him down? They used worse. So that's the argument that the Trump supporters are using to say, okay, well, this is one of the reasons why we believe that he's not implicated in any criminality in the files. And that idea has merit. Now, on the flip side, they'll say, well, they didn't want to take themselves down because they themselves are in the file. Now, if you're a liberal and you use that argument, aren't you admitting that you supported PDF files? See, this is the problem with the Democrat logic or the liberal logic. Because if Donald Trump's in the files and they didn't want to use it, why didn't they want to use it? Well, they didn't want to use it because they were possibly in the files and they didn't want to be implicated. Then you're supporting PDF files too. So when people come in here and they always try to say, oh, well, you supported Trump, you supporting PDF files and this, and I'm like, well, you know that doesn't exonerate you if you believe that he's in the files and Biden's administration covered it up. They didn't implicate him in the because they could have possibly been in them too. See, this is where the political theater and everything that happens make right. This is it. Brittany Alphen says it. I think they're all in the files, right? That's That's essentially what we have to be at this point, what we have to believe. Thank you to everybody that is tuning in. I appreciate you. Let me see who else is in here that I have not said hello to. All right. I'm not going to say your name, but BN, thank you for tuning in. Bay Area Trucking, Mary Coleman, appreciate you all. Brittany, right? Thaylinus, all right, there you go. Okay. Yeah, Andy Bedford, thank you for tuning in. And Ordis Drain, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, this is all political theater, and we're the pawns. That's essentially what's happening. We're the pawns, and the theater is happening, and they're moving the chess pieces around, and every week there's a new thing. Hey, Obama's over here. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. Like, he has immunity though. Never mind. Don't pay attention to all of that. And we're just, yeah. DD, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Brendan Davies, thank you for tuning in. Mandy Rose, thank you for tuning in. Jose Reyna, thank you for tuning in. All right. Yes. Release the files. That's what we want. Dog M34T. That's what we want. We want the files released because we want to know about everybody that's in the files, because it's justice. It's American protection of the children, of the least of these, of those of us who want to stop being played by our government. Right? Oh, we got another one. Yes. Right. So he keeps talking. Let's listen in. We're going to finish up the interview. There's another question that comes after this.
The election, yeah.
Do you think that drawing, I think I heard you say something the other day, that the drawing that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal report.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
You think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women. That I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women. And also, Epstein was always a very controversial guy. I was at a very high position, pretty much all my life. In all fairness, I've been doing this for a long time. I had the top show on television. I had the #1 bestsellers. I had everything, right? And I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? Now, with that being said, they say there were many letters done by many people, and many big people, big successful people. But I just don't. When you talk about files, I just keep going back, and other people too. Even the enemy says this thing is not correct, because if we had it, we would have used it on the guy. It's a bad issue. They say it's a good issue for Trump. Do you know that my poll numbers are up 4.5 points since this ridiculous Epstein stuff? My poll numbers have gone up 4.5 points because people don't buy it. Okay, people don't buy it. And he's gone, and we want to focus on trade deals. I want to focus on the deal we just made with the European Union, which is the biggest trade deal in history. It's a big.
We're going to talk about that. Oh, we did it. 12,000. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. We are taking this thing to the stratosphere. Almost 6,000 subscribers in the past calendar month. Yes. All right. Appreciate everybody that has been tuning in, right? You all are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's do this. We're going to make a party. Close your ears real quick, right? Yay, we did it. All right. All right. So, yeah, he's doing a lot of talking about this. His poll numbers may be up. He may be absolutely correct. That is, depending on who you polled. Yeah. Who you polled. Polling, that's a polling fallacy to believe that that polling results are the last word or unimpeachable standard of truth. That is a logical fallacy. We can't believe that just because his polling numbers are up that people don't care about the Epstein situation. No, we could actually care about this and still support some of the other things that you're doing. Right? I love what he's doing at the border, the economy, the trade deals, tariffs. I'm loving a lot of this stuff. But this Epstein cover-up is still a real thing. Right? American farmers are actually able to compete with farmers from other countries now, right? They found 10,000 of the 300,000 children that were missing in our country, and they're still trying to find more. That's one of the reasons why I voted for him. I wanted all of that stuff, the fentanyl coming across the border. I wanted someone to take a hard stand on these things. I didn't want, what is that? I need to find that, what is it? Yeah. I wanted that. Where is it? Where's that? Y'all know that that guy. I need to find that, right? Well, that guy's like the security guard is doing this and just letting everybody pass. That was essentially Kamala Harris and Joe Biden at the border, right? They're like, not patting anybody down. Oh, you want to come in? You get in. You get in. You get it, right? You get in the country. You get in the country. Everybody get to the country, right? They did the Oprah thing. Okay, everybody, right? Yeah. Yes. There's a very yes. I am a father of 5. Yes, that was the reason why the channel started. I've been asked multiple times to finish my book on fatherhood, but yeah, and I'm still writing it. But all right, so let's see, Ben. Yes, Ben. That's awesome. That's an awesome question, right? That's an awesome question. Okay, because I really don't. I think billionaires are making this country great, right? Look at this. Someone posted this, right? This, 40 billion a year. So they're talking about Elon, right? Let me go back to Elon is now officially worth 405.6 billion, projected to become the world's first trillionaire by 2027. And people are saying, well, 40 billion per year. A tenth of Elon Musk's net worth could end world hunger. It could be ended, right? And there's multiple posts like this. Everybody's castigating Elon Musk for being $400 billion. And I say, well, math is fun. $571 yearly from everyone who voted for Kamala Harris could solve it too. But you don't hear them saying anything about that. Over 70 million people voted for Kamala Harris. If they all just gave $571 every year, because they hate billionaires so much, but if they just gave $571, right, a year, world hunger could be solved. 570. That's not that much. It really isn't that much. How much is that every month? You want to guess? Less than 50, right? Less than $50 a month. You guys can't afford that to solve world hunger. All of you liberals that really want world hunger solved, but keep pointing to Elon to solve it. Right? Oh, no. When it's put back in your face. I mean, there you go. What's going on, everybody? Yes. Yes, exactly. That is true, Elrod. You're absolutely right. That is true. Yeah, that is true right there. All right. Thank you to everybody. Okay. Now, I have no problem with billionaires getting tax breaks. All right. I saw the Jubilee discussion with a billionaire. We get from Morgan and Morgan. Yeah. All right. That is true. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, that doesn't mean that this math isn't correct. $50 a month. They really want the homeless situation solved, but when it comes down to them solving it, that's where they have the problem. If they really want it. Yes, don't forget to like. Yes, double tap the screen, as Paul says. Paul is constantly here and constantly telling people that I appreciate you, Paul Krell. Is that how you spell it? Krell, right? That's how you pronounce your name. I appreciate you though. Almost every episode he's saying that same thing. Thank you. We've got 500 people in here, 550 people in here, and 33 likes. If you can get the likes up or the dislikes, either one, doesn't matter to me, right? But Trump is trying to distance himself, and rightfully so, from the Epstein files, because the Wall Street Journal reported that Pam Bondi told him that he was in the files back in March, I believe. Yes, cruel. Ah, there you go, Paul. Cruel, like duh, right? I could have seen it. Just that's on me. KCQ, yeah. Cruel. Okay, so he is distancing himself from this situation, rightfully so. Who would want to be implicated with the world's largest trafficker, right? Or the most famous trafficker or PDF file? I wouldn't want to be associated with him either. So, yes. Now, here we go. This is. Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you believe. What's going on, Brother Caleb Collins? What's happening? Thank you again for that encouraging text today, brother. Right? I showed it to my wife. There you go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. It's good to have people to recognize things from the outside. Yes. Very helpful. Thank you, brother. All right. So now let's continue. All right. Let's continue on. So we're talking about this cover up. Now here was something that I found interesting. This is generally the tact or the mindset of those on the right when they're mocked, or those that are mature when they're being mocked, right? This is regarding the South Park episode that featured Donald Trump in the role of Saddam Hussein as Satan's boyfriend, right? With a lot of other stuff going on. But listen to Scott Jennings as he talks about it.
The lesson here is that if you're funny and you make money and people want to watch your show, you can do things. And if you're not funny and you're committed to partisan liberal hackery that is hemorrhaging viewers and is not profitable, then you can't do things. And just a few days ago, the left was convinced that Colbert was fired for political reasons. Obviously, this company is airing material that is not favorable to Donald Trump. It is objectively hilarious. I watch every episode of these guys and have for years. I think it's great. But
so you're cool with it?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
There you go.
Yeah, it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard.
The lesson here is that
to understand, right? There are people who come in here every episode and insult me. Some of the insults are actually funny. I don't mind. I don't ban them. Sometimes I get a little chuckle if y'all see me to the right and I laugh a little bit and then come back. I find it funny. Now, some of them are old. People think they're coming in and being novel, but they're not. But if you can't laugh at yourself, you're probably taking yourself a little bit too seriously. None of us are perfect. We would all be helped by acknowledging and admitting that fact. That would go a long way. But you have to be comfortable in your own skin. It really is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Donald Trump is really upset by the South Park episode. I haven't watched it, but if it's funny, it's fun. Now, some people didn't find it humorous or funny at all. And some people are pointing out the fact that they never made fun of Biden, Kamala Harris, and the like. But they have their biases too. Everybody has their biases, right? Yeah. Look, he said Brother Michael is a serious person, so if he can laugh at himself, then lighten up a little, right? And I mean, I have my fun. My wife will tell you, she'll tell you, I have my fun, right? I have my fun. Yes. Yeah, but we have our fun here in the house. Yes, but for all intents and purposes, yes, we try to be serious about things that are serious, and we enjoy our time together as a family, right? So now, again, this cover up is real. Now let's get back to that because I just wanted, that was an aside really quickly. But then we have this by the Atlantic, the great fake child trafficking epidemic. So now it's fake, right? The Atlantic put out an article claiming child trafficking was a fake epidemic. Here's a photo of the owner of the Atlantic, Lorraine Powell, getting cozy with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, I don't know if that's the same woman, because some people have tried to debunk it. I'm not sure if it really is, and I haven't seen a community note on this one. But if this is true, that they're trying to downplay the reality of what Jeffrey and Ghislaine are guilty of, they're compromised. I mean, this is, yeah. Right, exactly. I mean, why do we think that? Why is she locked up? Now, look, Nashton. They have gotten satire really well for years, man. Like they came out and, you know, came out guns blazing, punching. I remember in the early late 90s when it came out. Man, late 90s, what is it, 2000? I still remember one of my favorite episodes of that show is Christian Rock Hard. That's the episode where Cartman starts a Christian rock band in order to beat Kyle to a platinum album and winds up getting, and they took Christian contemporary music to task in a way that I have not seen anyone do it since. Completely excoriating the Jesus is my boyfriend music style and how effeminate Christian music has become over the years, and they lit into it. Yeah. So, man, but the great fake child sex trafficking epidemic. So now it's all fake, but she's in jail for something fake. Okay. And then we've got, what is this? Epstein's niece. I mean, the tentacles of this thing go deep. Go deep. All right. So I don't, and this one was having a problem loading even before. I don't know if they just took it down, but I'll just read, right? Jeffrey Epstein's niece exposes the fact that her family belongs to Satan and worships Baal. Right. I mean, I want to play this video. I want us to hear this video, but it loading. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they don't want us to hear it, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But it'll be in the rundown. It'll be in the rundown. Now, we talked a little bit about the cover-ups, okay? So now we're going to move on to some things that Trump has been doing that I really like, okay? Now, I know some of y'all, as we switch to the new topic, some of y'all are going to leave. But you should stick around because this is your president and he is trying to do things to help you to, survive and thrive in the American economy, right? So let's listen in before we get to the race wars and all of that other stuff that's been happening. Ooh, boy. Yeah, we got some stuff going on because we have about another hour left. Okay. Now, look at this. We got some trade deals going on. Oh, President Donald J. Yes. All right. Yes.
Fox News alert. Another bad day to be a panicking. Trump scored a hat trick. He crossed 3 countries off his tariff hit list. You ready? First, it was the Philippines and Indonesia. The magic number 19% for both countries. And then the big one, the Japanese. $550 billion invested here and thousands of jobs created. And they'll be paying a 15% rate. Turns out Toyota tariffs work.
I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with Japan. And that was done with Japan. They had their top people here, and we worked on it long and hard, and it's a great deal for everybody. I always say it has to be great for everybody. It's a great deal. A lot different from the deals in the past, I can tell you that. But we're doing really well as a country. We're strong. We have a lot of money flowing in.
Fox News alert, another bad day.
All right, so he does a great deal with the biggest deal ever with Japan up until he did this deal with the EU. I know, guys, come on and like the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, right? You can support the channel in many different ways. You can join, $1 to join, right? $1 to join to help support. Yes, to help support the channel. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing. We hit our goal of 12,000 by the end. Now, let me tell y'all something. I actually had the goal of getting to 10,000 by the end of the year. By the end of the year, I wanted to get to 10,000. I was at 6,700. You guys are awesome. Y'all are awesome. December was my goal to get to 10,000. Y'all have already got me past 12,000. Right? This is to you all. Thank you. I appreciate you. This has been the best month that I've ever had on YouTube. Okay? By far. By far. All right? So we got to deal with the EU. Let's listen in. Oh, wait. Here's the video. All right. Well, even if it doesn't play. 0% tariff on U.S. goods, buy hundreds of billions in military gear, make 600 billion in U.S. investments, and buy 750 billion in U.S. energy. This is the deal. Man. Yes. Yeah, Jay Finn, I appreciate you. But again, look, I'm putting in the work, but you all have to like the content, right? I always say this. I mean, I could sit here and talk to myself. I could tell you nobody. And I was doing that for years. In 2018, when I started the channel, I was sitting here talking to myself. So if people don't like the content, they won't subscribe. So I appreciate you all. Yeah, I gotta shout out the subscribers. Yes, I was working hard even before, but nobody cared because nobody wanted to hear what I was saying, right? I remember those days. Okay. Now, and it was in the same room doing the same thing, essentially leveling up. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's fun, right? So let's look at the photo since the video doesn't want to play. But yes, Paul, cruel. We need to defund AIPAC. We're gonna talk about that. But let's Trump reaches historic trade deal with EU, Europe to buy 750 billion in U.S. energy. Yes, right? Pretty awesome. Okay. Right? So we've got to talk about the good things, right? The good things that Trump is doing. Okay? Yes, the good things, right? What's going on, Cavs? Welcome back. Welcome back. Appreciate you. You are a consistent antagonist in the chat. I even like the consistent, and as long as you're not trolling, keep it up, guys. Keep it up. I appreciate you for coming back almost every episode. Yes. All right. So these trade deals are very good, right? And look at this. He's even got, this is another side benefit. It's a side benefit that he's got liberals like Bill Maher saying, you know what? I was wrong.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had a thing how the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me. But that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty. Because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Yeah. Right? And there he is, admitting it. Right? People want Donald Trump to be wrong, but they're waiting. They're just going to be waiting. Now, that's one of the reasons why it's so frustrating, the tack that he took with the Epstein situation, because on many other fronts, he's winning. He's doing everything that he said he would do, right? Now, he exaggerated to a certain degree on some things, sort of getting drunk on his own power a little bit, right? But he's still working to get the majority of his agenda accomplished. And he's going in the right direction, right? So kudos to old Donald J, right? We're gonna say, yeah, right? I know there's some people who really hate him. I get it. Like the video on your way in. I appreciate you all. Yes, I get it, right? And I know, guys, because I voted for Donald Trump, y'all don't have to remind me.
And you ain't black.
Because I have it on speed dial whenever I need to be reminded by old sleepy Joe Biden that I ain't black. I got it right here. Okay, so I know that, and I know that the Republicans
gonna put y'all back in chains.
Gonna put us back in chains. I understand it, guys. They gonna give us free, massa, right? I understand, right? The Democrats gonna free us, massa. I believe so. Yes, I believe so. I get it. Democrats is freedom. There is freedom for my peoples. I get it, y'all. I understand. Okay, now these are the things that you all want us to believe, and unfortunately, history and 2020 vision just allow me not to believe that. It's just, yeah, right. Yeah, I get it, right? And nobody is sweeping the Epstein situation under the rug. It's just I spent the first 30 minutes talking about that. We're going to go to the next, right? To the next topic. I have a topic. I know, brother. I try every now and then to give y'all a nice impression, right? Right. No, when it comes up, if I get the opportunity, okay? But this is the rundown, guys. So I'm trying to get through this rundown today, right? So we the Trump Epstein cover-up, his wins, right? Now here's and we're going to move to the race war stuff. We got a lot of stuff on the race wars, right? And then traitors in the government, okay? So we got a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff, okay? Now, all right. Now, and everybody keeps calling Trump a PDF file, right? Again, they keep calling him a felon, all these other things. If he is a PDF file, we're going to want him taken down. We don't want any trumped up charges like, those fake charges out in New York and everything. Yeah, that stuff. You guys can keep that. But if he's really a PDF file, guys, we want him taken down too. He doesn't get any immunity in that regard. Take him down. Right? Remember, I have to keep reminding you all of this. I have to remind you all of this every time, right? Here we go. We're going to do this. You all think we worship this, right? When we actually worship that, okay? Because the truth is a person. It's Jesus. I'm going to do this every episode so you guys can get it through your heads that we don't worship Trump. I don't worship Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is guilty of PDF files, of being a PDF file, okay, take him down. How many times do I need to say that? I don't know. Maybe I need to say it every. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to say it every week. But it is. You guys have already, without evidence, you guys have already convicted him. But that's TDS. That's textbook TDS, Trump derangement. It doesn't matter to you all. You're just going to spew. Like, this is the problem with you all, right? So here it is, okay? An unanswerable argument needs three things: clear terms, true premises, and valid logic. You're willing to, without evidence, you're willing to assert that your premise is true. And you expect the rest of us to just believe it because you said it. But we don't do that here. We don't just believe whatever you tell us, because the left has been proven over and over.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
You guys are liars. You've been lying about so much, and you've believed so many lies and purported and supported so many lies that nobody cares what you think. Right? So when you come here saying, "Oh, Trump's a PDF file," okay, but you believe whatever the left tells you, and with no critical thought. You don't search for truth. You search for a narrative. You're not interested in truth. You're interested in silencing objections. That's what you do. And so you're going to have to prove to us that your statements are true. We're not just going to believe you. You had your chance. Right? You had your chance, right? That was your chance. But you failed. You failed. Okay? Yes. Now, let's keep moving on. So we had the proving of... now, this is an unintended consequence. This was funny, but this is an unintended consequence of Trump winning the battle in the culture. Listen to Flau'jae Johnson. Many of you may not know who she is, but she's a college basketball player. I don't know if she's in the league yet. No, I don't think she is. But men and women's sports. This is an unintended consequence of
Wilson was on, and they were asking her, could she beat an NBA player? I think it was Josh Hart, and she said she could beat. Do you believe that a WNBA player could beat an NBA player?
Bro, I was just talking about this. I just don't. It's not physically possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could barely grab rim. You over the backboard. Like, I'm not about to play you. Like, but like, no, an NBA player, like, No.
What about if we took, let's just say we took a top 5 WNBA player. So we took Stewie, we took Asia, we took Fee, Nafisha Collier. Who else you want to put in? You want to throw Inescu in there? You want to throw Jonquel Jones? I mean, you want to put Caitlin Clark? Whoever.
Who you
And I'm going to take, let's just say for the sake of argument, I take the 12th guy. Not obviously KD, LeBron, Luka, that ain't happening.
Right.
But I'm saying we're going to take the 12th, 13th, or 14th guy. He don't get in but like 2 minutes left in the game when they up by 25 or they down by 25. Could they beat one of them?
Bro, it just depends on the metrics, bro. Honestly, it depends.
No, we got to play. It ain't no handicap. It's straight up basketball.
Them guys can dunk. Them guys are all Americans. You know how hard it is to get in the NBA?
I do understand.
Literally, I got a new appreciation for summer league. I'm like, all these guys are playing for like 1 or 2 spots.
Correct.
And these guys booming. They 7-footers, bro. I can't get in that argument because I know I can't. I'll tell you that. Like, you 6'8" in the point guard. What am I about to do? I'm 5'10", almost 5'11".
Right.
So common sense has made a return. There ain't no way any of these women are going to beat any player in the NBA. Absolutely not. NBA players, for the most part, don't miss shots when they're wide open. For the most part. They don't miss shots when they're wide open. Even the worst of them, with the way the league is going. Common sense has made a return. She's willing to say what other people have not been willing to. We were supposed to turn off our brains for years and believe that these women could possibly beat NBA players. When most of them can't even touch the rim, the guys that they will be playing are jumping and touching the top of the backboard. But common sense is making a return. This is one of the side effects of Trump's win, is that people can just say what they believe now without the threat of reprisal, without the threat of being canceled. Had she said this 3-4 years ago, the woke NBA would have been WNBA would have been all over her. Now, we got to talk some stuff, some very interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but we're going to start here. Okay, now I literally cannot show you. I'm going to change this topic to race war brewing. It's going to be something else. Race war brewing. Oh boy. Race. Hold on. No, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do this. Segregation making a comeback? Whew. All right, let's see. Yes, that is actually, yeah. They say that the athletic ability of the WNBA players is on par with 13-year-old AAU. That's about right. You may be able to get a 13-year-old that can dunk if he's tall enough, but his fit body style, physically, he's about the same strength level and athleticism of your average WNBA player. 13-year-old AAU. So most high school teams, AAU teams, would destroy a WNBA team. Yeah, you've seen like average kids from the Philippines playing against Sabrina Ionescu and bodying her up, and she couldn't get past him, and then got frustrated. And he was an average player. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you wanted to see an even matchup, 13-year-old AAU, and I said AAU specifically because those are well-trained young men basketball players. 13-year-old AAU versus WNBA, you'd be a more even matchup. Yeah. Oh yeah, she was mad. Yes, she was mad. Yes, and we were making the point, right? Making the point that Trump winning is allowing America to be openly commonsensical again. All right, now let's look at the photo. I mean, most people know about this situation. I'm going to show it, and it should be enough to give you the Cincinnati Jazz Brawl. Okay, Cincinnati Jazz Brawl. All right, so that's what's been going on X. Now, no major news outlets have been covering this. and I can't show the actual fight video because that would get my channel flagged, and I'm not trying to get my channel flagged. Okay. Yes. Now, unfortunately, this has been the talk of X, and rightfully so. Now, the initial video, the full context of the initial video shows that the gentleman there on the ground was the initial, he threw the initial slap or hit. Okay. I might show that. Let's see if I can show you that without getting flagged. Where right around, I'm going to slow it down to half speed, and you see everybody's calm right now. And hold on, I'm going to mute it right there. Wait, where did he do it? Okay, hold on. Yeah, right there. He supposedly hits the black man in the face. Okay. And then that's what starts the free-for-all. All right. Now, yeah, right there, the slap. And then you see now it's on. And then they start fighting. Okay. And then everything else that happened afterward has been leading to this idea, or let's call it the idea of segregation resurfacing. Like whites only enclaves, whites only towns, whites, And am I opposed to a group of people wanting to associate based on shared cultural heritage and ideals and values? Absolutely not. If a group of white people want to associate, we have freedom of association in this country. They can do that if they want. I have no problem with that. But there is a segment of the population that does have a problem with that. And it's the mainstream media, Black Twitter, and the like. Now, people are. Now, here's the crazy thing. Okay. Well, let's do this before we go there. Okay. So, all of the this was what? So this is the guy. What is it? I expose racists in PDF files. This is his. He gives the full context, whereas most people are only giving the savage beating of the couple. He actually pulls out the full unedited first hit, which started the brawl after everybody was calmed down, right? But in typical fashion, you got the certain accounts are only focusing on the actual beating and saying that there are no news stories about this attack. And they're rightly pointing out the fact that if the races were reversed, there would be coverage of this all over the place. They're not lying. Okay. This is actually what, and don't forget to like the video on the way. I appreciate you all. You would actually see more information about this. They're not lying there. Personally, I don't understand. So if this were me, right, and I was that guy, I wouldn't have slapped them to begin with. I just wouldn't. That's not my place. I'm not going to start a brawl where I'm outnumbered and I don't know if anybody has my back. Right? I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to slap people in the face. Because once you start it, you don't know where it's going. The best thing is to control your emotions, to control the situation by just walking away. Just walk away. You can put a stop to all this. Just walk away. All right. That's another South Park reference for you guys. But I'm going to show you some of the responses and reactions. Because this is what's happening. When people see these videos, that's when the responses come out. and it's fomenting division, right?
If the races were reversed in this incident, we would never stop hearing about it. But of course, the media is completely silent.
Right? Now, obviously, I can't show the full fight. I'm not going to show it, right? But you see the situation here, right? She's bleeding. Okay. So they were at a festival and the fight happens. Now, to continue, and again, I'm just talking, right? Right. I know most people just can't, just can't fathom discussing this, right? Because there's a narrative there. I'm supposed to be the Tariq Nasheed, and just be up in arms if I'm black, right? Otherwise,
and you ain't black.
Then I'm not black if I don't follow the narrative, right? But I'm trying to understand this from both perspectives. I get why white men and white women feel as though they're being attacked in this country. I get it. Because they're being vilified for merely existing. They've had to hear from starting with what's the name? Robin DiAngelo and Ibram X. Kendi, that just by nature of their existence, they're racist. That white supremacy permeates everything, that you are guilty of an original sin, that everything you do, even saying that I'm not racist, makes you a racist. You support white supremacy by merely existing, right? So the logical conclusion is when people break it down to the fact that these are the premises that people are positing, that all white people are racist based on white supremacy and based on their skin color. All white people are racist. Racism is inherently evil, right? Racists shouldn't exist. Therefore, right? No racists should exist. Therefore, who are they trying to push to the margins? Who are they trying to get rid of? And if you get told all the time, constant refrain that you are racist, there's nothing you can do about it, you are now a target because you have been systematically and systemically oppressing brown people for generations, how long before you start to push back on that? I'm just asking. These are the premises that these people are positing. You've been told that you are racist just because you're white. There's really nothing you can do about it. You're just inherently racist. Okay? And racism is evil, and it should not exist. They want to get rid of racism in America. They want to legislate out racism however they can get it out. Now, you tell me, these are the arguments that people are making. What's the logical conclusion to those arguments? Am I incorrect? Is it not a true premise? People say this, they've been saying this, beating this drum constantly, that all white people are racist. Correct? Am I incorrect in saying that that's what people have been saying? Y'all let me know. That what? Right? Let me know. Okay, so people aren't saying that. People aren't saying that. What are they saying then? I'm incorrect. What are they saying then? That they're essentially saying that all white people are racist based on the system of white supremacy and their participation in it, that they are inherently racist. I'm asking. I'm not saying I believe this or not. What I'm saying is this not the argument that many black people and leftists make? All right. So they say the system is racist. Who created the system? I'm asking because ideas have consequences. I'm asking this question because here's the problem. An idiot with an idea can still cause harm. You're telling me that bad ideas don't have any consequences? Okay, thank you. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want people to be honest. That's what people are saying. They're saying that I know people personally who make this argument. That because white people support white supremacy and are part of the system and benefit from the system, that they are inherently racist. Y'all have never heard that argument, that all white people are racist. I'm just asking. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just checking something. Where's my well-worn copy? Oh. Where is it? Where is it? Here you go. Here we go. Let's see. Where is this? Where is this guy? All right, here you go. Because I teach logic. Here you go. He asked me to look it up, so I'm going to look it up. Here it is, right here. Oh, the book is so well worn. All right. A fallacy of distraction that misinterprets or hyperbolizes an opponent's position to make it much easier to defeat. Misrepresentation or puppet beating. Okay. So we looked it up. Now, I'm still asking the same question. Do they make the argument that all white people are racist? Is that not a predominant idea? Because of the system of white supremacy that white people are inherently racist. I'm just asking. Because I've seen this argument being made online constantly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there are people who know this. There are people who recognize this, right? And it's funny that they tell somebody who teaches logic and logical fallacies to look up a strawman argument. Like, thanks. I got multiple books in here that have it in there. I teach my sons and all this other stuff. So, all right. So, Brother Caleb Collins, right? I know if you're going to provide pushback, it's going to be thoughtful, and I get it. It won't just be some random, All right. So, I'd say it's more about revenge from the past, weaponized as a way to fight back, but hate only breeds more hate. Exactly. And yes, black people were subjected by our skin color in the past, and that has continued. Yes, that is true. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't those who don't make this argument, but there was a mainstream argument being made by the Robin DiAngelos, by the Ibram X. Kendis, and the like, that white people, I mean, this was all the rage. Like shortly before COVID, during COVID, when these people's books were being promoted as thoughtful scholarship. This is like, do we not remember? Are our memories that bad, so bad that we don't remember that this was mainstream, not just in leftist circles politically, but in the church as well? I mean, I've listened to the woman talk. This is a summary of what she wrote. I mean, I'm not going to support her by buying her books, but I can listen to her speeches. It's the default condition in a society built on racial inequality. Right? This was the mainstream position for the most part. Now, when you keep telling people that they're not welcome, that they are you're otherizing people, well, what do you think's going to happen? Well, they're going to, right, do things like this.
Here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references? Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
But in this southern US state, people who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful, and you don't know who to trust.
Its founder says he is building a fortress for the white race.
It's a racial association. I kind of want to ask you, after seeing this, do you think what we're doing is immoral?
Now, if I were to answer that question, do I think what they're doing is immoral? No. They have freedom of association. They can live around whoever they want to live around. Nobody has a problem with it. There's a group in Tennessee of Black Hebrew Israelites that do the same thing. There was a group in Georgia that they formed. They bought some land, I believe, post-COVID, to build a town out there, blacks only, in Georgia. I think north of Atlanta, or maybe south of Atlanta, but it's in Georgia. I have it right here, right? And so why is that? Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Let them do the same. Let them do what they want to do. I don't have a problem with it. They don't want me living there. I have no desire to live there. It is what it is. Let them do what they want to do. They're grown people. They got money. Let them do what they want to do. They're not. Yeah. There are lots of groups that do this, right? Groundbreaking. Was it Toomsboro, Georgia, right? Kemet community. I support both. I support both. If they want to do this, go for it. I don't have a problem with either of them. I don't have a problem with either. That's where I am. See, you all can't seem to think outside of, not everybody on the stream, but there are people that are talking about I love Nazis. I like freedom. I want these people to freely associate with who they want to associate with. These people and the group before. I'm fine with that. Yeah. It's not racist to associate with people of your hue, right? Most people do. We do too, right? We just don't want to admit it. Exactly. Exactly. This is not as insane as people want to make it out to be. This is actually pretty normal. It's the everybody has to live in the same space and get along, which is the abnormal thing in a fallen world. Multiple cultures trying to coexist with different values and different traditions, which means you just have to try to what? Because people are going to struggle to get to the top to make their tradition the best. That's why this idea of the melting pot, what was it? Oh, goodness. There's something in here I had. Oh, somebody made a great point about the melting pot. Where is it? It must be somewhere else. I had a video about that as well, about the melting pot idea, which came about, which is not exactly what America was supposed to be. That is not what. Let me see. Goodness, I gotta find it. Somebody sent it to me recently. Probably was my wife. She's always sending me good stuff. Let me see though. Let me check. Whee boy. That's why you should put everything in your rundown at the beginning. Okay. No. I'm looking for it, y'all. Let's see. If I can find it, that would be amazing. Nah, that's not it. Let's see. Nope. She didn't send it to me. It must have been someone else. I'll have to look for it elsewhere. Nah. Man. I'm gonna find it though. Maybe I'll bring it to light on the next episode. Because I'm fine with both of these groups doing what they're doing, right? Don't forget to like the video on the way in. Thank you to everybody. Likes, comments, super chats, all of that is accepted. It keeps me motivated to come to you every day, right? Let's see. All right. Yeah, so we had the whites only town, the black only town. Let's with the last 12 minutes. Let's talk about some traders. Let's talk about traders. Yes. Let's talk about traders. Here we go. We're going to talk about this because this is very important. If we want America to remain a sovereign nation, let me pull this up. Okay. Okay. So we've got this situation going on here with, oh boy, I'm going to show you all this video and then my response to it. So this is Ilhan Omar. Listen in.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again? These people are just idiots. I really.
And so she's caping up, whatever. She's what is this? Oh, she's showing off for this guy. He's not American, right? This is the guy that did the Jubilee. The guy that's interviewing her. What's his name? I forget his name. I think he's British. What's his name? Y'all remember him? Yeah. That's why I said too many traitors. We have too many traitors. People like her. I don't understand how we get to this point where someone who is anti-American is in our federal government trashing America. Denaturalization and deportation. I'm for it. I'm all for it. This is insane. Like, she's proving that she actually has no attachment to, I don't know. I'm asking. That's why I asked, dummy. I asked the question.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Yeah. So, right. That allows this in our government. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we have her. We have this gentleman here, right? Who is American born, right? And even Matt Walsh made a very great point. Okay. Very great point. We need to start asking the question, what does it mean to be American? Is it just being born here? Or is it a set of principles and ideas and traditions that you hold to that make you American? Now, some people want to narrowly define it, right, as European ancestry. Nah, you don't get to do that when my ancestors were brought here without consent, and we were given, because of slavery, the 13th Amendment naturalized us, and that should have had an expiration date. But that's how we got into this mess, people having anchor babies and the like, right? So he doesn't believe in American principles and ideals. That's why he's un-American.
Have you seen any change in policing 5 years later since what happened to George Floyd that caused one of the great movements that we've seen in American history?
Unfortunately, no. The mayor has promised continuously to our communities that there would be real meaningful reform, and 5 years later, there is still no plan. Just last week.
Have you?
Yeah, so he needs, and we've talked about his policies. We've shown his videos where he says that back home, Somalia, back home, that the United States government, either he or Ilhan Omar or both, have said that they're going to make sure that the American government does what they want them to do and help the country of Somalia. Okay? Whether it's Israel, Somalia, Uganda, Egypt, whatever country, name it. It's not our place as Americans to support every other nation on this planet. And we don't need traders like this coming in to reroute our tax dollars to their home country, because he's called it his home. I didn't call it. I didn't make that up. He says it. He says Somalia is back home. So even he looks at it at himself as a Somali. He may have been born here, but his allegiance lies elsewhere. And that's the difference between someone who is an American and who isn't. You can be born here and not be American. If your allegiance, I have no other allegiance but to this country. I haven't done my ancestry. I don't know if I'm Nigerian. I don't know whatever part. I don't care. Because I don't have any ties back to that country. Everything I know is this country. Yeah. Everything that I know is America. I have no tie, no other nation. I don't want any other nation on this planet to be number one. Not one. I don't think longingly of the motherland, and because my mother's land is right here. That's it. Right? So we got to make this stop. You just got to make it stop. This is right? This is what we're starting to see. This is too much. These people are all compromised because they believe that this country, it's number one in their hearts. So they're going to make laws based on that. This needs to stop. So at least 3 of them I've played on this channel discussing the fact, 4, it looks like 4. Yeah. 4 of them, I've played videos of them on this channel discussing how they're probably going to, they're going to force America to do what's in the best interest of Somalia. That Somalis are all connected, whether here or back home. I know, right? Yeah. I know, right? 12,000 after 8 years. I know, man, that's crazy. It really is. I'm a huge failure. I know, man. I'm going to cry. Give me a second. You won. Your comment won. Right. So, now, but here's the crazy thing. They're just taking the cue from the likes of Jasmine Crockett. Right? Because Jasmine's doing the same thing. Right?
Gerrymander, can you talk on that? Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, it hasn't quite been said clearly that Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. And so I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state. This state is a majority minority state. And what this legislature historically has done is what they plan to do again, is to dilute the voices of people of color in order to make sure that they can get to where they're trying to go. We saw this Department of Justice decided to put out a letter, and what did they do? We only have 4 seats that are represented by black folk, where the vast majority of the people that get to decide who they have represent them are black. They decided to attack 3 of the 4 seats that we have in the state. They decided to go after a Latina. They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say, we are going to dilute minority voices. So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory. That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate.
So I'm going to be a Republican and I'm going to mute her real quick. Does she not realize that she is always talking? Muting her? But we would love if we could find a mute button on her. Because she's always talking. Always. I've yet to see her be muted by anyone. You can't get her to shut up. Her voice is always loud, out and in the forefront, in Congress, sassy, cosplaying black. Either she's code switching with her previous accent or this one. Which one is it? Who's the real you? We'd like to know. Everyone would like to know. She'll have a hissy fit and she'll do her neck roll and her head snap and the sassy black woman thing. But what is she actually doing? Because we're still trying to figure it out. Like, what are you doing? What are your great accomplishments? Why do you deserve a voice that it's apparently loud and wrong most of the time? But it's just victimhood. That's it. It's victimhood. And she's a traitor as well. She's an absolute traitor. They want, she's a part of the coalition that wants to destroy and remake America into something that it was never intended to be. She's the new mouthpiece. So if anybody says anything about her, well, then they're either a misogynist or racist or both. Or hater or jealous, right? She can't be objectively wrong with a bad attitude and speaking nonsense. No, because she's a black woman. Hear her roar. She's a queen. She cannot be challenged. So that's all people have, right? That's all they have. And they're going to keep on. They're going to keep on. Yes, I know. I've traded. I know, brother. I know, right? I know.
And you ain't black.
I know I ain't black. I done traded on them black folk. Come on now. I done traded on them, right?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people.
No, right? Because
I'm going to put you all back in chains.
That's right. I'm selling her out, right? Oh, if she represents me, I don't want. Oh no, I don't want her representing me. No. Y'all can keep that. Keep her. Keep that. Nah, if that's black, I don't want it. I don't want it.
And you ain't black.
I ain't black. If that's black, I don't want it. Sorry, I'll be something else. Yes, I'll be something else. Boy. Yes, indeed. I'll leave it alone. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. All right. Now, we got one other traitor who's also a very large hypocrite here. Zoran Y'all know about Zoran, right? And then we're going to leave this. Yes. Okay. Zoran Mamdani says, abolish private property, right? Lives in a $2 million apartment in Chelsea. Zoran Mamdani, defund the police. Has an armed guard protecting him. Zoran Mamdani, eat the rich. His parents are both millionaires. Communism for thee, but not for me, right? He's gonna live high on the hog, right? That's right. He's got everything he wants. Right? Where is it? Sorry, wrong one, right? Let's see. Yes. He is a hypocrite. Okay. So, he bans all guns and defund the police, then flies to Uganda for his wedding celebration, guarded by masked special forces at his family's multi-million-dollar compound. As always, socialism for thee, but not for me. Look at old Zoran. I'm happy that he's happy with his new bride. I love to see marriage. I love it. But what I don't want to see is socialists running America. We've had enough of that. All right? We've had enough of that. Yeah. All right. So I had one little funny thing to do. Where is it? No, I won't have time to do that one. That one's a little bit long. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, one of the. Nah, that one's gonna be way too long. Oh man. Yeah, I think that'll be it for today. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. All right. So let's see. Now, I know all of you that's calling me the names. I get it. I know y'all it really makes y'all feel good. Really makes y'all feel good, right? Because, how dare I, as a black man, sell out black people, right? How dare I? I have to be a part of the hive mind, right? What's that? Oh man, I wish I had that statistic from the book I was reading today, where says that the vast majority of slaves stayed on the plantation, like 99 to 98 to 99%. Kind of about the same numbers that vote for Democrats. It's striking how y'all say that the Republicans gonna put y'all back in chains, but it's the Democrats that have y'all lock, stock, and barrel. But we the sellouts. I love it when y'all come in here and say that, because the dissonance, right? Y'all just proved that, right?
I'm a PhD.
Y'all PhDs in here that's sitting there allowing the Democrats to control your mind, your pockets, your life, your heart, right? Exactly. I'm in chains. I'm in chains right now. I'm in chains. I'm in chains. Right. There it is, right? They're gonna put me back in. There it is, right there.
Put y'all back in chains.
That's what he said, right? Right. Massa said that I'm in chains, so I'm in chains. Massa said it. Yes, Massa said it, right? All right. Until next time. Thank you to everybody that liked, commented, and subscribed and supported. All right. Super chat, super thanks. Whatever you do for the channel, I really appreciate it. Subscriptions, engagement, comments. That's why I don't ban anybody. You all who comment, even though you're negative comments, you're making it happen, right? I don't even watch Fox News. What you talking about? I don't watch television, bruh. You got to try something else. I know your brain can't think of that, right? That people don't actually watch television, right? I know y'all slaves to the TV. It's okay, bruh. It's okay. You can read books. You see all them? Read books. It's helpful. All right. Till next time, be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. See y'all around. Bye.